Nora was home for 5 days, and we were eating lunch. Got a phone call from Children's Hospital, and they said that one of her newborn screening tests had come back abnormal and that she needed to come back in for retesting.
I did a whole bunch of homework, a lot of Google searches to find out what exactly this is, and which was probably the worst thing that I could have done. Found out all the negative aspects of everything to do with PKU, and that weekend was just the worst weekend for us by far. It's such a challenge, especially when she sees us or somebody else eat something that she can't eat. We have to relay that, Nora, that's a no food. And she might look at something else and pick something else up. That's a yes food, Nora.
Weighing is our new thing. I have a scale in my purse, in my mom's purse, in my cupboard, everywhere. We have to travel with that to make sure that she's getting everything that she needs.
And honestly, the first year or so, I don't want to say it wasn't bad. It was very manageable because we were putting all the food into her. Now that she's of age where she's trying new foods, trying to steal someone at daycare's food, it's a lot more nerve-wracking.
My biggest fear is eventually when she wants to have a baby, what the complications are and the obstacles that she has in her way.
When I found out I was pregnant, it was both exciting and terrifying at the same time because you're now responsible. It's not just your PKU, you're responsible for a baby that is growing and its health. You have to control your blood Phe levels, and if those blood Phe levels are not controlled, it will result in maternal PKU syndrome with the baby. And what that is the effects on the baby are intrauterine growth restriction, microcephaly, congenital heart anomalies, and developmental delay.
When you're a teenager, you really don't like feeling different, and PKU makes you feel very, very different.
PKU is an inherited disorder that involves a problem with protein metabolism. Individuals have trouble metabolizing a very specific part of protein, a specific amino acid, phenylalanine. The elevated blood phenylalanine actually damages the brain. And so it's important from a treatment standpoint to try to reduce the phenylalanine levels in the body as much as possible to try to prevent the brain problems. And we treat them initially with a dietary therapy that reduces their intake of phenylalanine.
Foods that I can't eat include pizza, hamburgers, fish and steak, milk, chocolate milk, ice cream. You're hungry. When you have PKU, you're hungry pretty much all the time.
Dietary therapy alone is very difficult for many people, the majority of people, to keep their blood Phes down where they need to be.
I was diagnosed at birth. They put me on a formula right away at birth. Then I went pretty much completely off my diet as my late teens, early 20s. And that was a big mistake. And that's partially how I have some of my problems, is how I lost track of my diet. I've got a lot of neurological problems. I've had multiple seizures. My muscles shake. I don't know, basically my neurological system is shot from being off diet.
A lot of our teens and adults are no longer on dietary therapy because it is so difficult to do every single day for the rest of your life.
Well, it's really hard. I can't have a lot of stuff that my friends can have, like chocolate, pizza, and all that stuff. Sometimes it really frustrates me. And I bet that's the same for all the other kids that want a cure too.
The existing therapy is not good enough. Quite a few people whose blood phenylalanine start to elevate over time is that we do start to see more significant problems with attention issues, mood, being able to carry out complex instructions and tasks, and almost everybody with PKU, even if they're in quite good control, we find some abnormalities on the pictures that we get of the brain. Primarily, the most common thing that we see is that the white matter, which is sort of the wires that connect all the different parts of your brain, seems to be abnormal in its consistency, if you will.
A cure for PKU would mean that Nora can do what everybody else does. She doesn't have to worry about everything that she puts in her mouth.
We do have to count everything. It's got to be so precise. There's never just a, here's a bag, eat it. It's, here's 10 pretzels, Nora, you can have this now.
It's very stressful to have to go somewhere and make sure that I have food that she can eat there because she can't eat off the menu. So it's that daily struggle that I don't want to have her go through on her own and have to take on such a big responsibility.
The research that MPKUA is funding is helping us learn more about this disorder, and what we're learning is that the diet's not enough and that the brains of folks that have been treated have differences from folks that don't have PKU.
I would like my friends not to feel hungry anymore.
Your investment here tonight will help us fund the most promising peer-reviewed research that will lead to new therapy discoveries and an eventual cure for PKU. PKU is largely a disease about limits. Its effects can put severe limits on a person's ability to develop, function, and thrive. Help us face fewer limits and brighter possibilities for the future.
Please help us
Lift the limits.
For PKU.